Oh, sh**. This is like a V0.
Kinda leave it up to you what you want to do.
Oh, man. So that's my teaser. We'll see if it works. I will say I got a ton of views on some clips of this job I posted on TikTok. They were not all positive because there's a very controversial moment later on, and I got a lot of mixed responses, which is totally understandable because I was conflicted about what to do, and I don't feel super great about what we did do, but it is what we did, and this is the story of that. So as you can see, this was a co-dominant tree, half of which split off and fell right back behind me there where the skid steer is. That whole area was full of tree debris that we just finished cleaning up, and he's currently hauling that to a burn pile back on the property. So this is not a no cleanup job, but a no haul away job. The homeowner doesn't care about damage to the lawn, so we could have dropped this tree I'm about to climb, but there are huge protruding limbs on every side of it, and it's rotten at the base, and it turns out it's completely hollow. Also, it's too big for our longest bar. So for those reasons, I just figured I would climb it and limb it, and then we drop the stick. Watching this back, I'm wondering why I didn't set a line in before I started climbing, but I think I just wanted to rock climb up it. It's at a pretty steep angle, and you really could have just scurried up it with no ropes, with just your spikes and using the tree features as handholds. So it just seemed like it'd be kind of fun to climb. Speaking of fun, you're going to want to skip past this part. Save yourself. Do you hear those cute little bass runs it's trying to do? Go back and listen to those. This is AI generated music, and you can tell it's really trying. It's not quite there yet, but it's trying. I've been watching some videos of how to become a YouTuber, and let's just say I'm taking great solace in the advice that everybody seems to give, which is that your first videos are going to be awful, and you just need to post them anyway. So as I'm watching this back and narrating it to you, I am reminded of that advice, and I'm taking solace in that advice. I am owning that advice. I don't think I would tell anybody how long it took me to edit this because it would be embarrassing. But watching it back now to do this voiceover, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I keep that in? So save yourself, skip ahead. Skip ahead. There's just this long period of me climbing the tree, advancing the rope. I mean, there is an exciting bit coming up. I think the climbing stuff is almost done. I should be cutting soon. This is my first time watching this in a while. I had to take a break from it because I was so sick of the same scenery after editing this video for as long as I did. Looking at this just got so tiresome, even though the scenery is really quite nice. I don't mean me, I mean the background. As I zoom in on a limb, I'm about to say one of the few things I say in this whole video because I was so nervous to talk to the camera. Get ready for it. Any second now. For all the rock climbers out there, this is like a V0. It's been a while since I rock climbed, but I think a V0 is the grade they use for bouldering. I think they measure it in Vs, is that right? You know how some people seem to be living out their adult lives to make up for their deficits when they were younger? Like if they didn't have any friends in high school, or if they weren't popular in high school, they kind of act in such a way as adults that you can tell their actions are motivated by proving to their high school self that now they're popular and now they have friends. As I'm describing this, I can't think of concrete examples of that, but I'm positive that I witness this regularly. Maybe you can think of some examples, or you understand what I'm trying and failing to say myself. So if you can think of examples of that, put them in the comments. I'd be curious to hear if you know what I'm talking about. Here I'm starting to actually do some cutting. That's good. But anyway, the point of me saying that about high school was maybe my tree climbing is to make up for my failure to ever be any good at rock climbing years ago when I attempted it. I say attempted, I never really took it very seriously. I just did it recreationally, but I think maybe the reason I didn't take it seriously was that I didn't really have a great aptitude for it. So maybe this is living out the unfulfilled fantasy of the me that never was any good at rock climbing. Does that make any sense? You're about to see some cuts that seem to make very little sense, and they made little sense to me at the time.
Okay.
But there was just some funky stuff going on with these limbs on the backside of the tree. They had grown into each other, and when you cut one, it seemed like it was totally free from the tree, but it didn't fall because it was still caught up in the other limb it had grown into. I don't know if that makes sense, but they're about to do some weird things here that don't seem to satisfy the laws of physics.
Heads up. Could you get that off my rope? I'm an idiot. Thank you.
Sometimes it's like I go out of my way to drop stuff on my rope, but I don't think I try to.
Wow. Oh, shit.
Good?
Dude, I just reached in this hole to put my camera in there. There's a raccoon in there.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
Camera in there so you can see the raccoon.
This was a TikTok comment I found to be pretty funny.
Serious?
Yeah.
Did you see its head?
No, I just saw its fur and I backed out.
Oh my gosh.
I've never come across an animal in a tree before. I've been climbing for like 3 years.
It's gonna attack me.
Yeah, I'm a little scared for you right now. You have your breathing done.
Aw.
See it?
Oh, it's a little nest.
Are there babies in it?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Aw.
Maybe like one of them paper saws behind the fence.
I don't understand how people
Aw.
don't think raccoons are cute. They're the cutest creatures ever. I got to hold the babies after we dropped this tree, and it melted my heart.
Well, I don't want to cut it down now.
I know.
I was truly conflicted, and for the next several minutes I'm trying to figure out what to do. While we figure it out, I decide to just keep limbing the tree. The first thing we tried was to ask the homeowner what he thought, hoping that he would say, leave the tree standing and come back later to finish cutting it. So that's what we tried first. But soon you'll see my partner come on screen, and he'll explain what the homeowner said when we asked him that.
You good? Not, just making sure nobody was under that.
It was a fun challenge while I was cutting all these limbs to try to get them to fall as flat as possible. So for each one, I do as deep of an undercut as I can, and then I come in from the sides and cut away as much of the sides as possible, and then I come in from the top as quickly as possible. And most all of them landed pretty dang flat, which is pretty satisfying. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Why? I don't know why that just happened. Well, that opened things up quite a bit. See, perfectly flat.
We can just drop it with them in it. They're pests as far as he's concerned. So I'm kind of leaving up to you what you want to do.
Oh man.
He said the neighbors across the street had one that had gotten like in their playhouse, and they called about it, and the advice they were giving was to shoot the raccoon.
That'll be us with AI. AI will just be pests to them in the future.
Yeah,
A benevolent AI will be like, what should I do about these humans? Will be like, I'll get rid of them.
I did a terrible job explaining that joke. But basically, the homeowner says, F the raccoons, I don't care about them. Animal control for the county said they don't do anything with wild animals. And then a private company said they could come set some traps for them, and it would take days. So our options are, we refuse to cut the tree down, and we don't get paid for this, or I try to fish the raccoons out myself, which I really don't want to do. Or we could do what we do. We could do what we actually did, which is try to drop the tree really softly and not bother them and hope they survive the crash. Which, spoiler, they all did, which was really cool. The mama and two babies. But my camera batteries died towards the end of this, so we got some photos of the babies, but I did not get on video that several minutes after the tree landed, the mom took off running, and we never saw her again. But we were able to salvage the two babies out of the hole, and they seemed fine, and the neighbors actually took them as pets. So the ideal ending would have been that the mom stayed with the babies, but this was the next best thing, I guess. Maybe you can tell me what you would have done, or what we should have done, so we can do it next time. Because it was a suboptimal result, admittedly. Again, the homeowner repeatedly expressed how little he cares about damage to the yard. And it's not really a yard, it's like a big field. But it's still fun to try to get them to land as flat as possible. So I continue to try to do that. Here you can see I stole Meta Spencer's ground crew. I just finished telling you that the homeowner repeatedly stated how he doesn't care about damage to the yard. Well, he repeatedly stated that after we set out all this plywood to keep the ground in good shape. But that's what we get for not asking in advance, I guess. Look at that giant burn pit. Can you imagine that thing going up in flames? I guess that's what you get to do when you live out in the country like this. So the entire time we're cutting this tree, the neighbors are sitting out by the pool watching us. It was quite funny. Whenever people come out and watch us cut trees, I try not to let it affect what I do. But it's kind of hard not to want to move a little faster when you feel like people are watching and waiting on something exciting to happen. But I'm a pretty slow and cautious tree climber, so it's a lot of boring, with occasional moments of not boring. Please let me know in the comments below if this video does a sufficient job of weeding out the boring parts and keeping the not boring parts in. I myself am skeptical, but I'm curious what you guys think. This is kind of like if you've ever run a marathon or a half marathon and you look over to the sidelines and there's somebody sitting in a lawn chair with a cooler drinking a beer, and you're experiencing a great deal of pain and discomfort, and you're looking at somebody having a very relaxing time drinking a beer.
Let me know if I'm over that knot on the other side of the tree. I should be just over it, like right about here, right? All right.
Here I'm committing the cardinal sin of cutting a tree from a ladder. I thought about making a YouTube channel dedicated to cutting trees from ladders because it's such a popular topic on YouTube with an endless amount of amazing videos attached to the subject. And we do it fairly frequently when the need arises. As I said earlier, this particular tree was much too wide for our longest bar of 36 inches.
Is my bar still coming? Is my bar coming out the other side?
Yeah.
It is?
Yep. You got a good, like, 8 inches.
The problem with cutting from a ladder is that you can't walk over to the other side of the tree to check your cut. That's one of the problems with cutting from a ladder. There are several others. But luckily, this guy's my business partner in this endeavor, and he's like the best. So I can be on both sides of the tree at once. But anyway, the reason I'm cutting this from a ladder is because the bottom of the tree was much too wide for this 36-inch bar. And also it was super rotten and full of dirt, and I didn't want to take this chain through the dirt. So I'm cutting it like, I don't know what this is, like 8 feet off the ground. I don't believe that where I'm cutting is hollow, but right under, a few feet under where my bar is at, it gets really hollow. I'm trying to tell him to call me on the phone so I can communicate with him through my AirPods, but I soon realized that I don't have my phone in my pocket because I'm using it to film.
Hey, Swamp.
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting. He has my phone. I forgot. Am I in track to hit that?
Say that again.
Am I on track to hit my top?
Yep.
How much inches?
You got 4 inches.
4?
It kills me that I said how much inches.
Maybe I'll holler at you.
Alright.
He's just gonna let me know when my bottom cut meets up with my top cut. And there, I guess he's saying I'm there.
What?
Right at it on this side. There we go.
Nice.
The bad thing about this position is that it's kind of hard to make the back cut. But the good thing about this position is that I deemed it highly, highly unlikely that the tree could in any way come back to bite me. One way it could is if it barber chaired, but there's just not enough weight on this tree for it to do that, I don't believe. It is grating to my eyes how I left that decrepit stub above my cut there. My partner went to grab the wedges since I was unprepared with them, but I couldn't wait for them, so I just tried to leverage it over using my maul. And I'm just hoping at this point that the raccoons were okay. Here, we and the neighbor are checking on them and trying to get them out of the hole. And here's one of the little cuties.